This altar of mine is a disgusting mess. It's disgusting. And I can't believe that I even sit at it. Like, it's gross. It's nasty. It's disgusting. Hello, Tubies, and how are you all doing? I hope you're doing fantastically fabulous, okay? I hope everybody is having a glorious Monday. I know. I look like trash today, and that's okay. That's okay for me to look like trash. It's not okay for you to look like trash, but it's okay for me. You're like, what? Shh. Okay, so we have questions, and I would do individual videos on a lot of them, but they would be like 30-second videos. So I'm gonna answer some questions. Now remember how we did this last time? If you have questions, if you have comments, if you've got the nasties, if you've got the hatred, if your heart is just evil and dark, just don't just leave a dislike, okay? I want you in the comment section. I want you to tell me everything. Tell the preacher man, and the preacher man will tell you a lot, okay? I want to hear everything from everyone. Now, my last video, little sisters, okay, because something's not right here. My last video only got me 84 views. Okay, 84. Now remember, there's 1,800 of you, which probably means there's only 84 real people and 1,800 bots. So, you know, so I wanted to go through some of the questions that I got because I love all of you. I do. I love you. I do. I love you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, okay? So if you don't love yourself, girl, that's okay because I love you. I love you. Have you ever done a spell with other witches joining to strengthen your spell and its results? Like your love spell? No? No, I have not. Now, we did have this conversation in the comment section, so if you want to read that, you go to my last video, girl, and you read that comment section. But I have never done any kind of channeling of another witch or anything like that because I don't have any other witches around me. That's as simple as it gets. I've got no other witches that I know of that practice, and if I did know of those witches, I probably wouldn't want to practice with them because I'm a solitary witch. I don't like other people, right? Like, I don't like other people getting up in my space. Never, ever let another witch into your house. Don't you do it. Don't you ever do it, because that witch will see your house. They will see the things in your house. They might take something from your house, and they might curse you, even if they're your best friend. Best friends tend to fight, and best friends tend to say things or do things that they didn't mean later on down the road, but out of anger or out of whatever reason, they've done it in the here and the now, and all of a sudden you've got curses, and you've got spirits, and you've got this, you've got that coming at you left, right, and center, and girl, don't you ever let another witch in your house. It is just one big-ass mistake, okay? I would never, ever, ever let another witch in my house. So I have never channeled another witch. I have never worked with another witch. Like, I've worked with another witch in the sense where, like, Lunar Wisdom taught me tarot cards, like how to properly read them, or you know, Solitary Luna and I will talk about workings or whatever, or she'll just pop by in her little astral self, you know, every now and then you can feel that woman's energy because she just peeking on in. But other than that, I have never really channeled another witch. I've never worked with another witch. I feel very insecure in my craft when it comes to other witches. And that's just who I is, okay? I'm an insecure mess, girl. We got a book review. Okay. Now, this person just said, we were thinking of you today. Oh my god, I was thinking of you every day. I'm super excited for all the new series. So glad you're back. Would love to see more book reviews, video recommendations. Also would love to know where you get your herbs, oils, and other supplies. Is it somewhere local, or do you get your stuff yourself? Or yeah, do you get yourself? What do you do for work? Congrats on the full-time job. So let's go through that one by one. So we want some book reviews. Girl, I got a book for you. I don't know how well you can see that now. It's the Pockets Guide, right? This is the Pockets Idiot's Guide to Potions, Enchanting Recipes for Dozens of Magical Brews. Now you might be thinking, honey, that is a basic-ass book. And you are correct. It is. It's very basic, but we've got, and I have used this book. Okay, when I was just a tiny, young, little thing, nowadays I got these creaky old bones that just, you know, like, if there was a male version of a crone, honey, I would be a crone. But in here, we've got potion preparations, magical uses of plants, tempting teas, indispensable infusions, oodles of oils, tantalizing tinctures, luscious lotions, and beguiling beverages and brews. Okay, so it's this would be a good book if you are learning how to make your own potions, incense. Do they have incense in here? I don't think they have incense. I think it's all liquid based. Yeah, so if you're looking to make potions or teas or infusions or oils or tantalizing tinctures, luscious lotions, right? Now, in this book, they do also have these, I don't know how well you can see that because my arm can't reach that far, but it says toil and trouble, okay? They've got lots of little pieces like that throughout. They've also got magical definitions, concoction clues. This is meant for the newbies, the brand new, beautiful little witches that come to my channel and are desperate for knowledge. You want to go and you want to find this book. Now, where can you find this book? I'm pretty sure you could find it on Amazon. I found it at my local chapters when I was 19, 20? Somewhere around there. And when you are poor and you are impoverished and you are going to school and you ain't got no money, girl, this book helps me understand just the basics, so that I can make my own potions, so I can make my own oils, my own tinctures, and my own delicious lotions to use using basic ingredients, right? Now remember, little sisters, remember, you don't need to go to all these fancy websites and spend all this money on things that you probably don't need. You can use your kitchen spices, okay? I mean, your local grocery store has all of the things that you need to make your potions, your tinctures, your teas, all of that fun stuff. So going back to this book is simple, it's small, it's, how many pages of actual information in here? There's an appendix, but there's 161 pages of information in here. There is a bad luck terminator, pleasant dreams, they've even got things in here about making wines and purifying juice and love fruit juice and money bags and midsummer fairy wine, eggnog, Samhain. Is it Samhain? Girl, have I been saying this all? Girl, we getting all kinds of mixed up. Is it Samhain or is it Samhain? Because this book says Samhain, but people on the internet say Samhain. So I'm like, y'all need to make up your damn mind. Okay? But this is a Samhain remembrance. We got some spring wine, chamomile wine, honey mead, blackberry wine, dandelion wine. You get the point, right? But then we've also got Sip for Success tea, and that takes 4 parts clover flowers, 2 parts lemon balm leaves, and 1 part ginger root. Now, they do have measurements in here, but remember, witchcraft isn't about measurements, okay? You put in whatever you want, you put in as little or as much. If you want to put in 80 parts clover flowers and 20 parts lemon balm and 0 part ginger root, then girl, you do you. Okay, you do you. You do you. Don't you be calling me no drunk addict. Ooh, girl. We've also got stuff in here about mystical roots, rootstock, and bulbs. Now, it doesn't give you a lot of information, right? I don't know what you can see because my arm don't go that far. But, you know, it doesn't have a lot of information, so you'll definitely want to be making sure that you do your own research and make sure that you're not getting into trouble with any allergies or irritations or ingesting things that you probably shouldn't be. Now remember when I talk about Osha root. Osha root's the prime example. Pregnant women, don't you be drinking Osha root unless you want to have a miscarriage, okay? Now, They've got information on here in potion precautions, the intensity of intent, right? It's all about intentions. We know how witchcraft works. It's all about intentions. F your ingredients. We don't care about what tools you use. We don't care about this, that, the other thing. It's all about intentions. You know, I have stated in the past that you could sit butt naked in your living room with your legs crossed and just put your intentions out to the universe, and girl, you cast a spell. Now, there is which way is the energy flowing. Now this person says, while preparing any potion, you need to pour your own energy into your creation. This means having a clear and conscious mind while performing these magical workings. You transfer energy into the potion whether you want to or not, so make sure your energy is positive. Now this book, you know, a lot of the books that I have are very hippy-dippy, very positive energy, very this, very that, love, light, and energy, girl. And that's okay if that's the type of witch you are, girl. You would love these books. Even if you're not that type of witch, these are the books that you would love because it's basics, right? We all gotta know those basics and getting those basics down. Now, this book is my all-time favorite. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. Who do I recommend it to? New witches. Why? Because it's got basic information to get you up off the ground, okay? Now, older witches and more experienced witches and somewhere in between witches, you know, they would also benefit from this book because there's lots of good information in here. Now, about their oils, they do state, I believe it states in here, infusing your carriers, I can't remember where it says it, but I believe this book states that you should take the oils that you've made and place them in the sun, shaking every day for like 2 to 6 weeks. Now, I don't put my oils in the sun. Ew, no, bad. So what I do is I mix my coconut oils with the infusions and I put them in the shade, in the shadows, right? I don't shake them all the time, but I do shake them every time I need to use them, really infuse them, right? We don't use fresh ingredients, right? I had to think about that, right? So don't use fresh ingredients in your oils. Don't put your fresh mint that you just picked into your oil because that is gonna go moldy, okay? It's gonna get nasty. And then your oil is ruined, especially if you're making an oil that you anoint yourself with, right? You anoint yourself, anoint your cooch, right? So don't be putting any fresh ingredients. Dry that mint out. Okay, dry it out and then crush it up and put it in or put it in whole, whatever you want to do, but make sure it is dry to the bone. Now, we've got, what else do we have in here? Also would love to know where you get your herbs and oils. Now, my oils I make myself. I ain't going to no witchy store and buying their oils. Damn, I don't need your intentions, girl. I got my own intentions. So I make all my own oils. Okay, and that's what I suggest to all of you. It's not that I have a problem with witchy shops or Etsy shops or Patreons or Facebooks. I mean, I got issues, but you know, I don't care about you making a living, okay? To those of you who are begging for money and begging for Patreon follow, but you've only been on YouTube for less than 6 months, girl, I got issue. But those of you who have established their craft, established their following, been around for a while, and they start up an Etsy shop. Like if I were to start up an Etsy shop, I wouldn't have an issue with that. But if I was only here for like 2 months and all of a sudden there's an Etsy shop, like girl, you need to back up. You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? But there are witches out there who have Etsy shops and I got no issue with that. None whatsoever. But I won't buy your oils. I don't care how good people rant and raving about them because it's not my intentions. Okay? Now, I suggest y'all make your own oils. At least, you know, if you're a new witch when you're beginning, don't go out and buy somebody else's oil because you won't know how to use it. You won't know how to use it, you won't know what the hell you're doing with it. So make your own oils, experiment, fail a couple times, you know, you will know when you fail, trust. And succeed and all this other stuff, but the important thing is make your own. Because, especially if you're new, and because this book, okay, this book right here, it will help you, it will help you, okay? And that's what we want to do. We want to help you, okay? So when you get more established, you know, if you need a specific oil for, say, a road opener, and you don't have the ingredients to make your own, and there are no herbs that you have in your house that you could substitute, you know, maybe then you could consider buying it. But you know what I would do? I would head down to your local grocery store and I would pick up some herbs that you can find. And don't just follow the books. Just because a book says you need herb X, herb Y, herb Z, herb A, herb B, herb C to make a road opener, don't mean that's true. Don't mean that's true at all. Okay, it's about your intention. Now, where do I get my herbs? I always buy my herbs from Mountain Rose Herbs and Monterey Bay Spice Company. Now, they are a little pricey. And some things are harder to come by on those sites. But if you go between the sites, let's say you find Dragon's Blood on one and you find Dragon's Blood on the other, you can price compare, girl. Ooh, you can price compare. Now, I wouldn't recommend going down to your local witchy shop to buy your resins because you are gonna be gouged. Okay, who wants to pay $17 for one tiny little thing of Dragon's Blood when you can go on Monterey Bay Spice Company website or Mountain Rose Herbs, and you can buy, depending on which one has it, and even if they do have it, because there's different times of year when you can and can't buy it, Dragon's Blood. And yes, it's pricey. It's like $60, $70 for 8 ounces of it, but you get big ass chunks, and honey, that is gonna last you a lifetime. Trust. It's gonna last you. So that's where I buy my resins. Now, sometimes when I need to buy new Ulta cloths like I do here, I will go to New Age Imports. You have to spend $100, but everything is so cheap. It's like $5 and you can get 20 of these altar cloths. Or it's like $5 and you get massive amounts of coals. Or it's $5 and you get this, you get that, you get everything. When they do force you to spend $100 before you can check out. So it can get a little pricey, but if you've got a little bit of extra moolah and you need some witchy things, head over to New Age Imports. Girl, you will get a big ass box and it will feel like Christmas, right? For some incense, I will go to Wildberry to get their incense because I love their incense, right? So I will buy incense sticks from there, but I mostly buy my incense sticks, if I can, from New Age Imports. Okay, so I hope that helps. The last question is what do you do for work? Girl, shh, I'm a software developer. What the hell does that mean? That means I sit at a computer all day and I type that code and I make those websites work. Now, I'm not just a web designer. That's boring. Ain't nobody want to be a web designer, honey. Web design is boring. No, I build systems, okay? Let me give you a little rundown what I'm building these days. So we build in these registries for clinics, okay, and we helping patients by tracking very rare diseases. If you don't know what they are, look them up. But we've got acromegaly, we've got amyloidosis, we've got sickle cells coming down the drain, we've got some other things coming down the drain. But I build these registries where clinics can log in and they can input all this data, what medications you on, what your weight, what your height, what's this, what's that, all that other stuff. And then there's the patient side where they can log in and they can fill out questionnaires. You know, today I feel ugly, today I feel nasty, or my disease makes me feel gross, or, you know, stuff like that. So it's very complicated, it's big data, it's all of that fun stuff, and you know, there's all these privacies, regulations, rules, all that fun stuff that we have to work with, and in some cases work around, and all that fun stuff, but we are, you know, working in that direction. We're gonna talk about a TV show, right? Because that's what one of my commenters want me to talk about. They want me to discuss a television show. So I thought I would try and do this. Now, we did a book review in this video, so we're going to attempt to do a television show review, and I got all 8 mother seasons of it, okay? So this person, this particular commenter, this lovely Tubi, who I would be lost without. I'd be lost without all of you, okay? Each and every one of you keep me alive. That's a lot of pressure on 1,800 of you when only 84 of you watch me. Okay, so this person says, when you said you wanted to focus on love magic and become a love witch, I instantly thought of the movie from 2016. Have you seen it? Without a title, I have no idea what you're talking about. For all I know, you could have taken a hit of acid and we could be on a different planet right now in your mind. Maybe an interesting thing you could do besides book reviews is share your opinion on witchcraft media by doing TV movie reviews as well. Happy 2020. Super excited to see your content. So we're going to talk about a show. It's back. It's back, but we don't like the new version. We're going to talk about the original Sisters. Ooh, girl. And I've got all 8 seasons of these DVDs, so we're going to go through each and every season, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and my opinions on them. And we're going to do it in order, and if you don't like that, well, girl, just click off now and leave your hatred down below. So, let's talk about the first season of Charmed, right? So when Charmed came out, it was very, was I around? I was around, it was what, 97, 98, somewhere around there? No, I think it was 97, and then this was 98, and then this was 99, and then this was 2000. Yeah, see, I got the times right. So, let's see, how old was I in 1997? I was 9 years old, so I don't even know about this show. See, that's how god dang old I am. I was born in the 50s. So, when this came out, I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it until I was a teenager, okay? And then, when I turned 18, girl, you can tell this box is a bit worn. The DVDs still work. I have watched this show over and over and over and over and oh, I've seen this thing 50,000 times. All seasons, 50,000 times. Nowadays, when I go to watch it, there are just some episodes I have to skip because I'm just like, ugh, it's boring, it's boring, it's boring. The other day, actually, it's a bit dusty. It's a bit dusty. It's a bit dusty. This was actually a few months ago. I decided to sit down and watch all 8 seasons again, and girl, it is way better than the new crap that's out. Don't you be watching that new SJW crappy wannabe Charmed with the white lighters. They just, no. I watched the first season. I binged the first season. I said to Lunar Wisdom, I said, girl, you've got to try this first season. But then there were episodes where it was like, girl, you don't want to watch this. And then there were episodes where it was like, girl, you want to watch this. And I just couldn't make up my mind. By the end of it, I was like, you know what? Nope, not going back for a second season. You lost me because the only sisters I care about are right here. So let's talk about the first season. I'm not going to get into episodes. I'm not going to try and spoil anything for you. I mean, this show has been out for decades. If you haven't seen it by now, girl, that's your problem, not mine. But if you're not a fan of Charmed, what are you doing on my channel? You need to unsubscribe. You need to unclick that bell notification. You need to unclick that like. You need to click the dislike. You need to leave a nasty comment, and you need to get off my channel, because if you're not a fan of Charmed, girl, and I'm not talking Charmed 2.0, that crap is gross. Don't watch that. Don't waste your time and your energy. Okay, you wanna watch Charmed, you watch the original. This smells like incense. Oh, you can tell I was making all kinds of incense while watching this. Okay, so season 1. I don't know how I feel about season 1 of Charmed, because season 1, obviously every season 1 of every TV show, they got a world build, right? They gotta introduce you to the characters, they gotta introduce you to the big bads. I did like the ending of Charmed season 1. You know, I was a little sad that, was it Prue? Yeah, it was Prue's. Prue's boyfriend, now I can't remember character names, and I can barely remember plots, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. But Prue's boyfriend, you know, spoilers, dies. Yeah, I know, it's sad. And it's just like, I mean, they get discovered that they're witches, but it's not like Andy. Is that his name? Is his name Andy? I got an asshole Andy below me, and I got an asshole Andy above me. I got Andys all the damn place. But, you know, when he found out, when Daryl was introduced, all of that stuff, the world building in this one was really great. Now, I didn't like the relationship between Prue and Phoebe. I have a feeling in reality they didn't like each other. And I believe in a lot of articles that I've read, they didn't actually like each other at all. And it really showed in their sister bond. Even times where Prue was like, oh, I forgive you, and you're my sister, it just felt fake. Like, it felt like she wasn't in character. It felt like she was, oh, the producers are making me apologize to you in this episode, so I'm sorry. And it's like, get off the show. I did love Prue. I wanted to be Prue. I wanted to work in a museum, and I wanted to be that professional, and I wanted to wear the black, and I wanted to have the makeup and the hair and the gloriousness and the busy schedules and all of that fun stuff. But as years went on, I can really smell the patchouli coming off of this thing. You can tell I burned a lot of incense. A lot of incense. But as the years went on, I became more of Piper. I became a strong, independent woman. That's what I did. Now, season 1 was good. Season 2 was better. Okay, season 2, you know, Mommy Dearest, she's dead. We're meeting Leo more. He's more involved, right? Daryl's more involved. Everybody's more involved. What was the big bad of this one? I can't remember what the big bad of this one was. Season 1 was some time demon. Season 2, they talked about the source. Was season 2, was it Balthazar that was the big bad? I can't remember, because we did meet Cole. Sort of? Wait, did we meet Cole in season 2 or season 3? I think we met Cole in season 2. But we also discovered that Phoebe, she has a dark past to her. Okay, they do some time traveling, they go here, they go there, they do this, they do that. And Leo and Piper fall in love, but Piper also dates the next door neighbor in the season, okay? He's this like hunky guy, but he ends up finding, oh no, I remember what the big bad was. It was the genie. The genie was the big bad because Prue dies. But she comes back, don't worry, she's not dead till next season. But she comes back and all that fun stuff, and I liked this season. It was packed full of action, it was more world building, it was more introducing characters, it was more understanding that, oh, the elders don't want you dating because, you know, your mom and her white lighter, they fucked. We're gonna find out who came about in season 4, and all of that fun stuff, and it was just, I just found that season 2 was packed full of energy, and at the end, that dragon, that dragon that comes, he's in man form, don't worry, but that dragon that comes, oh girl, even to this day, I would rip those leather pants off him, and I would violate. So, moving on to season 3. This was one of my all-time absolute favorite seasons. Well, I mean, I got all-time absolute favorites of other things. But, you know, Prue dies at the very end, okay? Shax. We all remember Shax. I know I'm spoiling this for all of you, but whatever. If you haven't seen it by now, girl, you've already missed out. Like, your time has come and gone, and you might as well just start digging your own grave now. But Prue dies, and Phoebe and Cole fall more in love, and I believe it's in season 2 when Phoebe starts going back to school. In fact, I'm 97% sure it is. And in season 3, Phoebe finds her job. She becomes the Ask Phoebe, if you will, the relationship advice columnist. And Piper and Leo attempt to get married behind the elders' back, and the elders punish them, and then they actually allow them to get married later on in the season. They go back in time to save Melinda. I loved the Halloween episode in here. It was my all-time favorite. Okay, Daryl knows they're witches, all of that stuff. It's just really, really great. We learn more about the source. Shax shows up, kills Prue, kills a doctor, all that fun stuff. So then we're left with a dead charmed one, and it's like, where does the show go from here? Introducing Paige. Now, Paige, I can't remember her actual name. Does it say on here? It does. Rose McGowan. I don't like her today. I liked her then. This is the Rose I like. And at this point, it was around season 2 that Piper had bought her club. Season 3, she's running it. Season 4, she's still running it. You know, everything is working out there. Phoebe, in this one, she marries Cole. But first, they gotta kill the source. They kill the source, and then Phoebe marries Cole. Cole is the source. They end up killing Cole at the end. A huge, heartbreaking. Cole is the final boss of this one. They kill him. It's over. It's horrible. I know, it's nasty. Then we move into season 5, where Paige has more asserted herself as kind of the lead witch, and Piper's pregnant. Okay, they find out that Piper's pregnant here. In the last episode of this one, They had the choice given to them to give up their powers. They could have given them up, but they didn't. And the Angel of Fate was happy that they didn't, because Piper is pregnant. And she, as we learn in season 5, is pregnant with a very, very, very powerful child, who in season 6 we'll learn more about. But her pregnancy is basically the big bad of this story. Okay, magic goes out on the day that she's supposed to give birth, so demons attack, but they don't go poof when you vanquish them, and so they bleed out in the closet. You know, people, her dad gets married to a demon, all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, Cole is still around in this one. He comes back from this purgatory land or whatever. He contacts Phoebe, and Phoebe is just having none of it, and he's got all these new powers now, and eventually Paige finds a way by sneezing, essentially, and she orbs as she sneezes and ends up in a different dimension where Cole is also there. We also learn about, what were they called? They were called something, and they go all the way into season 6, I believe. Maybe it's just 5. But they were these all-powerful beings that essentially want to create a utopia on Earth where everybody's happy and hippy-dippy and love, and there's no war, there's no violence, there's no demons, there's no nothing. And Paige eventually gets into that world. Well, she doesn't get into it, but she gets into a reality that Cole once created, and she and the sisters of that reality vanquish Cole once and for all. Yay, he's gone, he's dead. Now, he does make an appearance in a later season, but we'll get to that. So now Phoebe can move on with her life, but the big bad of this one is they become gods and goddesses. Well, they become goddesses. And Piper kind of goes crazy because Leo becomes an elder, but that means that they can't be married anymore. Like, he can't be there. And they've already got a child. The child's already born at that point. And there's issues with the child being kidnapped and the crone and all this other stuff. Again, you gotta watch this. This smells like incense. All of these smell like incense because all I would do is burn, 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 and make, and they all smell like patchouli and dusty and all that fun stuff. So then we get into season 6. Season 6 I didn't really like so much because, so Phoebe gets a new power where she's an empath and she can kind of sense what people are feeling or thinking. And I'm like, there are times where she's like, oh, I could feel that, or oh, I know what you're thinking. And it's like, that's not really what an empath is. An empath can pick up on feelings and energies, but you know, they had to do dramatic effect, Hollywood magic, all that stuff. And Piper is more, she's more herself. She's more evolved into herself. She is a badass, take no shit from no one kind of witch. Paige evolves as well, and Daryl isn't seen as much. Leo kind of comes back into the fold because they end up having another baby. Okay, they have another baby. Their son, their second son, comes from the future, tries to warn them that their first son is going to become evil and take over the whole world and everything. And they've got to put a stop to that. And the way they do that is by going into magic school. Now, I can't remember if magic school is introduced in season 5 or if it's just season 6, but I believe it's just season 6. And I think it's introduced with the Headless Horseman. Now, I can't remember if that's season 5 or season 6. You're going to have to forgive me. But here, they basically, Paige becomes a teacher of magic school, right? Okay, and she eventually becomes, I think, headmaster in a different season or something. But here, Gideon, one of the elders, becomes the big bad, and Leo essentially fights him. And the reason Gideon, the elder, is the big bad is because he does something with Wyatt where he manipulates him, or some traumatic event happens, and Wyatt in the future, their first child, becomes evil, but in the season ender, they save him, so he's not evil, and all that other fun stuff. But Wyatt also summons a dragon, an actual dragon that breathes fire, and the cleaners come, and they threaten to take away the child, and the charmed ones have a trial, and all this other stuff. It's not one of my favorite seasons, but it's a good one nonetheless. Season 7 is godly, because they meet Zankun, I believe it is, near the end, and he is way more powerful than all of them. He can steal their powers, they deal with their powers being stolen a lot, they deal with various types of demons. You can really tell around season 5 that they stopped putting effort into making unique demons. A lot of the demons are now more human and they throw fireballs. And it's mostly because of budget cuts. And like this show around season 8, ooh girl, like people were taking pay cuts just to get through the last season. Now season 7 is really, 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 really good. It's Zanku. But he essentially takes control of the Book of Shadows and he has the witches basically on their knees, but they end up using this power that's under the house to vanquish him and destroy him. But at the very end, they decide they don't want to be witches anymore, so they use glamour magic, which we will talk about as one of the other questions, to change their whole identity so that people don't recognize them. And that's how season 7 basically ends. Now season 8 is where they come back because Billy is a new character. You may have seen Billy on Big Bang Theory. She's one of the main characters. She's the only female lead on that show, but she's in here as a witch, and they discover her and they try and teach her, and her sister's evil, and there's the triad, and this season is really just wrapping everything up, and it's so rushed, okay? This is the season where I get really mad, because midway through the season, Paige from season 4, okay, it's still Paige, like she's been here for 4 seasons. Paige asks, when they go to vanquish the source the second time, how'd you guys do it the first time? You were there the first time, okay? That just pisses me right off. Like, I'm just like, oh my god, like, you've been doing this for 4 years and you don't remember? Like, what? So, anyways, aside from that, they bring the source back using Wyatt's powers, but then they vanquish the source, and then they have to deal with the triad. Now, Christy has been kidnapped. She's Billy's sister. She's been kidnapped. She's been turned essentially evil. She works with the triad. They turn against the charmed ones, but Billy never really feels right about doing that. And then they all come together. They vanquish the what is it called? The triad. They vanquish Christy. Billy falls to her knees and basically cries, but the charmed ones just look down. And then it slowly begins to wrap itself up. And season 8 is rushed. It's very, very rushed. It's like season 7 of Buffy. Okay, so would I recommend this TV show? Absolutely. What do I think of this TV show? Girl, you need to watch it. And what do I think about Hollywood magic in relation to witchcraft today? There is a thing known as pop culture witchcraft, okay? There is a thing known as pop culture witchcraft, and they take ideas from shows like Charmed, Supernatural, so on and so forth, and incorporate it into their own craft. Now, I think that's just hoopla. I think that's fantasy. I don't think that's real. There's some, not correct, but it walks a fine line in season 1 and 2, well, mostly 1, very early episodes of Charmed, of being very Wiccan. They are very Wiccan throughout, but they're not like hippy-dippy, right? Like they create vanquishing spells, they don't bind their enemies. Like, it wouldn't be considered Wicca if you were to follow Wicca, like modern Wicca, where modern Wicca's like, oh, you can't sneeze without consequences, you can't have your period without consequences. You know, like, modern Wicca is just so gross. Okay, don't practice modern Wicca, okay? Practice, you know, historical Wicca, okay? Traditional Wicca, practice that, okay? If you practice traditional Wicca, you can stick around. If you practice modern Wicca, where having your period is evil and you're going to hell for it and you're gonna have the threefold law come after you, girl, don't even get off my channel, right? So, TV shows like this, incorporated into witchcraft, it's known as pop culture witchcraft, but it's not real, okay? Charmed is the biggest culprit for all of those stupid rhyming spells that you see on Pinterest, okay? Like, lots of witches have them, they add them to their Book of Shadows, they think they're so cool, and they don't work. Okay, we're cut off, little sisters, but let's just wrap this up. They're not real spells, they're not going to work, they're not, it doesn't matter about your intentions, it doesn't matter about any of that, it's Hollywood fiction. Okay? You're not going to go back in time. You're not going to stop time. You're not going to become super intelligent. You're not going to hide a zit on your face, all that stuff. No, 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 no. It doesn't work that way, okay? Now, the last question that I want to talk about is fantastic. I was wondering if you practice any glamour magic, or if you already have videos on that subject. After watching the Grimoire series, I was just thinking about how amazing it would be if you did a video on that subject, if you practice that. Just, Jesus Christ, read more. Just curious. It's a subject I personally have been delving into recently and getting different perspectives. Really aids in learning and growing. Love your content. Oh, girl, I love you too. I love all of you. Okay, glamour magic. I have never practiced it, but I have opinions on it. I think when people think of glamour magic, they think of casting spells to hide flaws on your body, casting spells to make yourself maybe look skinnier if you're a little heavier, casting spells to, you know, fool people's perception of you. Now, in terms of the physical, no spell will change how you look. Okay? If you want to change how you look, apply makeup. If you are a little heavier and you don't like how your body looks, wear black. From what I've heard, black is very slimming. I don't understand. I'm thin privileged, so I don't know. But if you have something, some disfiguration, something that you're insecure about, I would work on maybe accepting that. If it's not something that you can change about yourself, I would maybe work on accepting that and accepting your inner beauty and working the outer beauty parts of you. You know, I find bigger women, they got bigger boobies, you know, show off those boobies. But I don't think that there are any spells out there. And again, these are just my opinions, okay? These are just my opinions. Now, I saw on Facebook that somebody had posted that opinions are evil, and that people who have opinions are evil, or something. I don't know. I don't know. But in my opinion, yes, again, my opinion, glamour magic, in the sense that we think about it, like, especially in shows like Charmed, or in shows like Supernatural, or whatever, it's not the same as what's in witchcraft. So, if I want somebody to perceive me differently, well, that's not going to happen, because 1,800 of you have already made your judgments, and already made your perceptions, and already came to your conclusions of who I am as a person. Okay? But if I'm going to a job interview and I need them to perceive me a certain way, then I will work on that on myself. It's not that I need magic to make myself look or seem different to somebody, because I accept me for who I am. I feel like there's a lot of types of magic out there that try to change you, or give you the conception that you're going to change in some way. And I feel personally that if there's something you don't like about yourself, be it inside or outside, ask yourself, is this something that I can change on my own without the use of magic? And if the answer is yes, then change it. And I'm not saying that you can't use magic to aid in that process. I'm saying do the mundane first. You know, let's say, for example, you're a bit heavier and you want to be a bit skinnier. And, you know, and you look in the mirror and you're like, I don't like my body. I don't like the way it looks. So what are the mundane? Well, you could talk to a dietitian. You could talk to your general doctor. You could start exercising, right? And then start incorporating some magics into that, whatever magics you want to do, to make yourself feel better and motivated to keep going in the direction that you want to go. What people don't understand is that the mundane must and always will come first. So that's my thoughts on all of these subjects, and I hope that you guys have learned something from this. And if you have more video ideas or comments or suggestions or hate comments or anything like that, please feel free, comment section down below. My battery is dead, my camera's dying, everything is not working, I have to run away. I love you, and I hope that you learned something from this, and again, if you didn't, get off my channel. If you did, get off my channel. Just kidding, I love you. Make sure that bell notification is hit, that subscribe button is hit, that like button is hit, that comment is made. And if you don't like me, leave a dislike, leave a nasty comment, because you know I will feature it in another video. Okay, until next time, my fabulous little creatures.